Hello, Steve Mullins here with the Health and Safety Channel. And the title of this video is Eviction Court and Mold. How can you win this? Well, there's a couple of key things I'm going to go over because I just was in eviction court last week for a client. And it basically works like this. It's very, very simple for the most part, but you need a couple of key things. One is that you need an inspection done of your property showing you have a mold or bacteria issue and or dampness in the home, and that is potentially uninhabitable. Now, when I write my reports, I state on the front page of the report in bold, in yellow, highlighted, when the conditions that I see warrant it, I will say that the home is uninhabitable per California code, and I will cite those codes. Now, I have the expertise to say it, but I don't have the legal authority, such as a building code enforcement officer in California, to condemn the property and say that. However, when you have these kind of situations, building code enforcement officers have very limited expertise and authority in evaluating these kind of situations. So unfortunately, you now have to hire someone like myself, either a microbial consultant or industrial hygienist, and that's what I generally recommend. Although there are other inspectors that can probably do the job, you want to be able to have them be able to testify in court when they do that inspection. So if you have those key things and the owner or landlord is trying to evict you because you stopped paying rent because you feel the place is not livable or uninhabitable because of mold and bacteria growth, that is their responsibility. I'm not referring to something that is a tenant's responsibility, such as, okay, you had to clean the bathroom sink for a month and mold is growing. Well, that's on you, and that's typical. Most people know that. But when there's a leak or other conditions that are promoting mold growth, and of course, let me define mold here in California law in Senate Bill 655, Chapter 720, back in 2016, is defined as microorganisms or fungi, fungi being the other word for mold, microorganisms including or includes the dangerous bacteria that grow along with the pathogens that go with it that produce endotoxins which can be fatal. And so in this particular case, this lady had been living in this home for a number of years. It had been about 6 years worth of leaks going on and off, although they were repaired, not always in a timely manner, but the moisture was never dealt with. A remediation, meaning removal of mold and bacteria, and the moisture was never done. So she's breathing in these endotoxins and things like that for off and on for a period of years. I do the inspection, do a test of material for endotoxins, have hard evidence along with elevated moisture readings in several areas of the home, and that's in the report stating the home is uninhabitable. So get to court, give the report to the lawyer. This is what the tenant does. Now, even though at that point the landlord had the report a couple of months earlier, they essentially ignored it and was trying to bully or intimidate the tenant to get out. And which of course is, bullying a tenant is against the law. But in this case, most tenants don't know their rights. They don't know what to stand up for, know what to do. And so in this case, she knew enough about her rights to stop paying rent because the place was not habitable for them to legally charge and collect rent under those conditions. Get to court, as I was saying before, once they got the report and saw I was there to testify, they did not ask for any back rent at that point. They just simply agreed to have her vacate. She was already in the process of it. She agreed to do that in about a month or two down the road, and they would, of course, should have to repair that home properly. Though, unless a judge orders it, it likely is not going to get done, even though the law says they should disclose leaks and any even suspected mold when you're renting that property, especially since they were given a report by a professional that states all these things. Anyway, I'm going to have another video that's going to talk about some of the applicable codes in this situation. And so stay tuned. Now, I do want to recap one little thing. If you do not have the inspector there to testify in eviction court, you will lose. Because without that inspector to back up the report, the judge and or other side does not have to accept that report into evidence. Even though you may have given it to them a month or two earlier, it can be blocked from being presented in court. Now, I learned this the hard way. That's why I can say this. Otherwise, we'll talk to you guys later. Have a good day and stay safe.